everyone, and welcome back to another update on my office sim. I made some really good progress this week on the employees, which make up the beating heart of the business that you're working to scale as you play the game. We'll cover all the details of that work in today's devlog, and I'll also talk about some of my other near-term ambitions for the game. So without further ado, let's jump in. In last week's video, I showed the beginnings of my work on pathfinding for the single employee in the game. You play as the founder of a business building widgets, and you only control the founder. The expectation to scale your business and make any meaningful progress in the game is dependent on your ability to hire and appropriately direct these autonomous employees. My plan is for each employee to have unique art, unique behaviors, and unique skills. It will be up to you to make sure they are given the right environment and the right resources to be as productive as possible. So that's a big ambition, but not quite the reality of the game I had in development. Up until last week, I only had one employee, and his behavior was to spawn in one specific spot to build widgets. Getting him walking around was key, and I think I've done a decent job with it. Colm Reeves, that prototypical employee, now autonomously navigates the map with the objective of building and shipping widgets during his shift. I've built a navigation region which covers the map and excludes the walls of the garage as an obstacle. As tables and packages are placed onto the map, the navigation region is rebaked for Colm's pathfinding. You can see he recreates a path to his destination. This rebaking behavior is still needed for widgets and the coffee machine. Rather than copying and pasting my initial work here, I intend to make a generic navigation exclusion implementation in a future bit of work, since this will be needed a lot. He's fairly effective at avoiding and sliding around moving objects which get in his way. For now, it's the player he needs to dodge, but he'll have to navigate other employees soon. Colm can definitely still get stuck, and pathfinding needs further refinement. It would be good to detect a stuck condition, stop the walking animation, stop movement, attempt to generate a new path, and ultimately alert the player with a thought bubble or something. Now that Colm can walk around independently, he enters and exits the map at the commute tile out by the sidewalk. He'll show up at the commute tile when his shift starts at 7 a.m., and he'll walk back to the commute tile at 4 p.m. when his shift ends. During his shift, Colm will attempt to go to a target work area, which is hard-coded as a point at the moment in the garage. I definitely plan to let the player assign a designated spot for each employee so that they can have their own desk or area like a normal workplace. Once his work area is reached, he'll cycle between the following activities: creating new widgets directly to his right, building upon or adding progress to incomplete widgets, packaging completed widgets which are in his work area, and then ultimately carrying packages in his work area to the shipping and receiving area. A mailman swings around at 2 p.m. each day to collect all the packages in this area, and you get paid for each one your business delivers. I made some fun new art for Colm carrying boxes where he appears to be sweating and straining and generally uncomfortable. I love the juxtaposition of this with the player character just standing around, contently drinking coffee. This game is in large part meant to be a satire of hustle culture, corporate politics, and managerial relationships, so having scenarios like this starting to occur is definitely making me feel like I'm seeing my vision come to life. So after that, I was feeling pretty good, and I moved on to making a second employee for the game, introducing Carrie Moore, who is kind of a Rosie the Riveter-inspired manual laborer to join your team building widgets. I drew some new art for this character, but unfortunately I forgot to capture a cool time lapse like I usually try to do. She's a little shorter and thinner than Colm, even though she's based on Colm. She carries a hammer, and she also has an exasperated look while carrying boxes, because, well, like I said, that amuses me. Aside from the art, her behaviors are identical to Colm. She has the same work schedule and pay rate. I'll probably try to differentiate these more as time goes on, but you have to start somewhere. A lot of code related to employees is still leaning toward hard-coded for single or known agents, but I'm starting to move in the direction of having generic lists of employees. This will be a gradual refactoring over time. Adding a second actor to the map has definitely started to already point out flaws in my navigation and pathfinding that I just introduced. The employees get stuck on each other and on the player. I added a little variance to their target locations as a quick stopgap to keep them from trying to go to the same place at the same time, but navigation in general still needs some more work. I do want a degree of these types of pathfinding problems, so that players are thoughtful about how they place furniture, where they direct employees to work, and ultimately to push them into larger office spaces as a progression in the game. That said, it shouldn't immediately be an issue with just 2 employees. That will obviously just frustrate players. So I think I'll keep working on that and making it feel right. I do want to start to explore a concept of achievements, quest or goals, something like that, which guides the player. When you start brand new, I want the game to hold your hand a little bit and give you some objectives. For example, the objective to build your first widget, or an objective to hire your first employee, and similar. As you complete these, I think it will unlock more abilities and ultimately allow you to progress to a new map, which will act as a level 2 for the game. I also had a friend playtest the game and give some great feedback this week, so I have a little list of quality of life concerns that I can go and get after as well. I'll be back with another update next week though, because that's all I have for the time being. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for updates. If you're a game developer yourself or just aspiring to be a game developer, please go take a look at finalparsec.com. We have a tremendous amount of free content, software tools, and resources to help you out on your journey. You can play games there, including the latest version of this office simulator. I'll put a link in the description below. And you can also publish your own games to share with others. If you really like what I'm doing and you want to support the channel and the development of this game, please head to our store, which is also on finalparsec.com. Find something that helps you build a better game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.